Okay, so here we are. I don't know whether you want to call this the inaugural, the premiere, or the debut of the Dork Age podcast.
I feel like those are all accurate, though.
But here we are. So let's not waste any more time. Suicide Squad, let's get into it. We literally just saw it, and we just came back for the Suicide Squad. How did you feel about the movie?
I was entertained by it.
Okay. Short answer, I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I was pleased that I liked it.
Yeah.
Now, there were some issues that I had with the movie.
I feel like that is going to be accurate just all around.
Okay. So, first of all, casting I think was great. I didn't have a problem with any of the actors, with the exception of that Will Smith just plays Will Smith, but I think that it worked for that character.
I feel like Will Smith playing Will Smith is just Will Smith.
Right. The issue that I have, the biggest issue that I have with the movie is the villain. Okay? Which, if you want, you could look at it one or two ways. You could say the villain, the main antagonist is Waller. Okay, but the thing that they're going to fight, spoilers, is the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Okay. Very weak to me. Wasn't really invested in that whole aspect of the story. Okay. And I really don't like how whenever she's trying to build the quote unquote weapon in the movie, that they had her change form. Okay, I thought it looked really weird as far as the CGI with her head on top of the CGI body. I would have liked to have her just had the Enchantress body the whole time.
Right.
Okay, and I don't like the voice that they used for her when she was in that mode. It kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
And I think the overall effects for her and her brother were poorly done.
It was not an overly impressive CGI presence.
Right. Speaking of overly impressive CGI presences, Diablo's fire stuff wasn't that. I didn't really think that was very well done either.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's just a thought that I had. While Diablo, when he was in his Diablo form, was fighting with Enchantress's brother, who is completely unnamed.
Enchantress's brother.
Yeah, Enchantress's brother. Like, have you played Mortal Kombat 10?
No. I'm not into fighting games, but go on.
In Mortal Kombat 10, there is the guy that's kind of in charge of whatever the Outworld, whatever it is,
Shang Tsung?
No, it's in Mortal Kombat 10 is Kotal Khan.
Okay.
Who is like a sun god or something like that. And it was like two versions of Kotal Khan fighting himself from Mortal Kombat 10. That was their fight.
So why do you think that they kind of kept that aspect of it out of the trailers? Because it was so cheesy? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And, I mean, honestly, if you look at the trailers, it would make you think that the Joker was going to be the antagonist of the story.
I thought so.
Which I kind of figured that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if we want to get into it, because that's really probably the biggest focal point of the fan reaction to the movie is Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker. Now, I sent you a video link to a game theory or a film theory that had been put out where they talk about the three different Jokers. Yeah. Okay, so you've got the mobster Joker, which they kind of are like, that's Jack Nicholson's Joker. Okay, and then you have the prankster Joker, which was Cesar Romero's Joker. And then you have the psychopath Joker, which is Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was going to put this Joker over any of those, I would say it would be Jack Nicholson's gangster Joker.
I feel like that's very accurate, yeah.
Okay. That being said, I didn't really have an issue with the Joker. Maybe the overall look of him was a little kind of out there as far as what I would consider the Joker to look like with, the grill and the tattoos on the face and everything. But I understand that that's an aesthetic choice that the filmmakers chose to go with.
Yeah.
And it had to have been more than just the filmmakers of this movie, because he's going to be in the other DCU movies, hopefully.
In all likelihood, anyway.
Right. So that was a little different. I love the wardrobe, and that he changed wardrobe in every scene. I thought he really looked cool. I think that he stole every scene that he was in.
Yeah.
Okay. And
and people are saying that about Harley Quinn too.
Right. And the chemistry between him and Harley Quinn was fantastic.
Yeah.
Now all I can think of is, when do we get a Joker Harley Quinn movie, like Natural Born Killer style? It doesn't even have to be a Batman movie. Just a Joker Harley Quinn love story movie. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Because I want to see them together all the time.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Batman v Superman then, because Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman steals every scene that he's in, not necessarily in a good way though. Right. So, do we think we could have a Lex Luthor movie like the same way we could have a Joker movie? A Joker and Harley Quinn Natural Born Killers movie I would watch. I don't know that I would watch a movie with Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. Absolutely I feel like it would be kind of insufferable.
Even though, and I've said this since Batman v Superman came out, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was my favorite part of the movie, because he was the only interesting thing about the movie.
Exactly, yeah.
The way he portrayed Lex Luthor as opposed to everybody else in the movie was just, at least he was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But going back to the Suicide Squad, so let's kind of run down the ranks of all the Suicide Squad members, all right? So first we've got Will Smith as Deadshot.
Yeah.
He's the quintessential hitman, the best there ever was, I guess.
Like in the scene of him, like in the firing range, like I did think that was pretty well done.
Right,
and like he picks up every single one of those guns, he just shoots, and you see
in the same hole and everything,
the exact same spot.
And the scene where it's like the flashback where he's up there and he's on his phone and he's talking to the mobster or whoever, and he's like, I'm ready to kill your boy, but I don't see any money in my account and all that stuff. That was great. I thought that was well done. Okay. So he's been recruited by Waller to join the Suicide Squad. Okay?
Recruited is such a great euphemism.
Right. He was voluntold to do it. So then we've got Deadshot and we've got Harley Quinn, which those two characters are arguably the main characters of the movie. I don't think you could pick out a protagonist of the movie.
I feel like they were trying to force Flag as kind of a main character, but I don't think they succeeded because he's such a very generic and uninteresting character.
Well, going by the story, you kind of have to, though, since he's got that romantic relationship with June.
Again, spoiler,
who embodies the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So we've got Deadshot. Now we have Harley Quinn. Okay. So growing up, Harley Quinn's character that was introduced in Batman the Animated Series.
Which I loved that they had just like that one shot of her in the original animated series Harley Quinn outfit. That was great.
That was a welcome surprise. Yeah. And I was just like, holy shit, they did it. And I thought that was great. And it actually kind of goes back to, there's a famous comic book cover or painting. I can't remember who did it. I want to say it was... I'm not even going to mention his name. He did the Kingdom Come stuff where it's all like super realistic. But there's a picture of Joker and the Harley Quinn, where Joker is almost of his Jack Nicholson style Joker in the tuxedo with Harley Quinn. Okay. And that seems to be ripped straight from that painting.
Yeah.
Okay. And, I was so surprised at that. I loved the way her portrayal of the character was done. I think that her backstory, everything did justice to that character. There was no...
And they didn't linger on anything. Because they did get as much backstory of at least Harley, at least Deadshot. They didn't really touch much on Flag's background as far as him being a main character and getting his backstory in there. They just kind of touch on the important hallmarks of the characters themselves.
Right. So... Anyway, Harley Quinn was great. Margot Robbie, I think she was cast wonderfully as Harley Quinn. I love the way that she looked. I love the way she talked. And she just has that feel to it. Now, Diablo, don't really know much about Diablo, but he's definitely the sad character in the movie. Okay,
yeah.
you definitely feel for him. He's got a past. Some bad things have happened due to his powers, and he's like the one that's like, I don't want to do this, you know, but they're like, no, you're going to do it. I liked his character. I'm not too big of a fan of the look of his character, and I find it hard to believe that somebody that has that many facial tattoos can have a wife that beautiful and children. But, you know, when you're a gangster or whatever, maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too white to understand that culture. So Killer Croc, I think, looked ridiculous. Yeah. And I think his dialogue was retarded.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't understand anything that came out of his face.
He was an over-the-top black stereotype as well.
I mean, his one request
was BET.
And
he kept saying, like, I'm not axing, and calling Harley Quinn Shorty. And he's like, hey, Shorty, I look good, and all this stuff. And I was just like, that's... You know, and I'm not like the biggest Killer Croc fan or anything like that, but he was definitely, I thought that was just a little ham-fisted dialogue for him. Okay. Slipknot, wow, he didn't last very long at all, did he?
And I love that it was the guy that played the guy that owned the fireworks stand in Joe Dirt that played Slipknot.
I didn't even make that connection. It's been so long since I've seen Joe Dirt that I didn't realize that. But you know, it was pretty much general consensus among everybody that had watched the trailers that there was going to be one or two members of the Suicide Squad that were going to meet an early fate. Mm-hmm. And they did guess Slipknot.
Which, okay, was so funny because they're like, by the way, this is Slipknot, a guy that we haven't talked about at all.
No backstory, anything.
No backstory, no introduction to him being a thing. I didn't even know that he was gonna be a member of the Suicide Squad. And then he just shows up. And then
he was
almost
in,
immediately
like, pictures
dies.
And stuff. Yeah, so that was good. I like that they kind of showed his head exploding and that they were like, yeah, we're not fucking around. We'll totally kill you and all that. So, I mean, that is, you know, it's was necessary for the story. Okay.
I thought Katana was pretty well done.
Yeah. I was under the impression that she was going to be one of the bad
actual
guys,
members.
But
yeah.
No, she was more like watching flags back, which I don't read any of the Suicide Squad comics, and I don't know a whole lot about the characters other than Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Killer Croc.
Right.
To be able to say, well, this is true to this character or whatever.
And the only reason that I know much of anything about Katana is actually because of the CW series Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Because she's kind of a minor character in the last couple of seasons.
But that isn't canon with the DC
of course
universe. Not. All right. So we've gone through all of those, and then we have the Enchantress, who I really liked at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting, you know, how she would bring the Enchantress out. I loved the way that scene where she's coming out in front of the board of army people in the hand and then turns it over. That was really cool. I like that. And that she went to go get the secret files from Tehran and all that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But then the whole thing with her brother and her ending up being the main villain, and then the way they made her look during the building of the weapon just made me not give a shit about her character at all.
Yeah. It was very much, because, like, again, very interesting, but she didn't have a lot of use as June.
They were like, we need a villain, so we don't want to throw all our cards out on the table. We want the Joker, but just kind of a teaser of the Joker. But we need a villain for the movie. And I think that was one part where they missed the bar, okay?
But I mean, who do you make the villain of the Suicide Squad story? Because they're all villains.
All right, so look, Justice League is teasing Darkseid. All right, so they could have done something in that vein. Yeah. All right, or they could have had another DC villain. Yeah. It could have been anybody, really, but to use the Enchantress to drive the story just seemed a little like, okay, we need something, so let's just do this. Yeah. Kind of thing. And her brother and all that. So that aside, I enjoyed the movie. I didn't feel like it was a mess. Yeah. Like
so many of the reviewers.
Right. And I tried not to watch any reviews or see any reviews, but I ended up seen a few. And they were just like, it's a disjointed mess and it just falls apart. I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, no, I feel like it held itself together throughout the entirety.
And it didn't drag on for me like Batman v Superman.
It moved
did.
very swiftly.
When I saw Batman v Superman, I just couldn't wait for it to be over. And I didn't feel this at all. Okay. And maybe having Harley and Jared Leto as the Joker and all that kind of stuff definitely helped. There was definitely a lot of humor in this movie that we didn't get with Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So here's the question, though. Does this movie save the DC universe from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman?
I don't think so on its own.
Right.
Just on its own merit, I don't think it's going to rescue the entire DC universe.
Which a lot of people were hoping. They were like, yeah, Batman v Superman sucked, but we've got Suicide Squad coming up in August. I think this is like life support for the DC universe.
It's triage right now.
It wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
Okay? But it wasn't so bad that they're like, no, fuck this, we're done. It makes me want to give them another shot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It makes me look forward to Justice League a little bit. I mean, the footage that we got from Comic-Con looked good already. I was interested. Okay. It's tied me over. It's getting me at least to a base level of interest in the continuing of this franchise.
Right. So would you recommend the Suicide Squad?
Yeah. No, I mean, I would. I enjoyed watching it. I don't know that I would pay to go see it again.
Right.
But, I mean, I enjoyed it.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
And you're right. I probably wouldn't pay to see it again. One thing I want to touch on is the music. Okay. So it kind of felt to me like this movie was their answer to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very much
okay.
So.
And it kind of felt to me like all the classic rock music that they used in the beginning of the movie was kind of there because of Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you know, the music in Guardians of the Galaxy was there for a reason and played a big part in the story. For this, it was just like, you know, Warner Brothers is making the movie. So I'm wondering, and the whole time I'm watching this and they play another song, I was like, I wonder if they own the rights to that music because it's Warner Brothers. And I couldn't help but draw comparisons to the Guardians of the Galaxy and their soundtrack. And then Spirit in the Sky came on, which was also used in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, was it?
Yes, it was.
I didn't even remember
You're talking to somebody who probably in 3 months after Guardians of the Galaxy came out has Awesome Mix Volume 1 on their phone. So
nice.
I guarantee you Spirit in the Sky is in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I thought that I'm like, why would they let that go? Why would they let that in there to use one of the same exact songs from a Marvel DC or a Marvel expanded universe movie in a DC universe movie? And that to me was just kind of like, I mean, I get it. It's a good song.
Yeah.
You know, and all the song choices were great and I enjoy them. Some of the song choices, though, it seems like we've got this like classic rock at the beginning, and then when they're suiting up and you start hearing like Eminem and everything, and you're just like, okay,
it's very all over the place,
right?
But it does kind of hit a little bit of every single person's music preference. Like, I mean, there will be something musically.
What does Slipknot listen to?
The Grateful Dead,
right? Ouch. Overall, though, yeah, I'd recommend the movie. I would definitely watch it again once it's released, you know, on home video. I think that it's gonna tide us over.
Because Justice League comes out next year, right?
Justice League comes out next year. Wonder Woman comes out next year. And so while we're on that subject, we'll talk about the DC universe next. Okay.